go. Welcome everyone to the 6 p.m. Soul Center Global Recovery Meeting. I want to call it that because it can be open to the whole globe. I'm glad to be here. Uh, you guys can see everybody who's online, so I'd like to give us a chance to introduce everyone in the room. And I'm assuming, yes, Lo has the mic to start us.
Hi, I'm Lo.
Hi, I'm Stefan.
Hi, I'm Patricia.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Julia.
There you go.
Hi, I'm Dallas.
Okay, it's good to be here. I had already said that. So this week, it's been a great week, only because, well, not only, but one of the things is what was percolating in my head for the patients, especially since the world has suffering, was a particular thing. So before we start, I'm going to start with a story. So there's this guy. He wants to be enlightened, or a girl, and buys all this equipment, buys everything he needs, buys a map, climbs this mountain, because at the top of this mountain is this monk. It's supposed to teach him what he needs to know. That's what he's told. So he spends days and days, almost dies, gets to the top of the mountain, sees the monk, and he goes, "Oh, monk, can you teach me?" And the monk goes, "Oh, well, you're on the wrong mountain. This is the mountain of disillusionment. The mountain of enlightenment is over there." I love that story because he went to all this work only to be told to go to another mountain. And of course, the right response, if enlightenment is really in this person's work, they want to put the right effort, is to go to the other mountain. Maybe want to double check this time, but yeah, go to the other mountain. But I think that's an amazing story. And the reason that story means a lot to me right now is I started thinking of a word called santosha, which is one of the limbs. I think it's part of one of the second limbs of yoga, which I think there's a lot of relationship between Buddhism and yoga, a lot. And santosha means like, san means intense and inner, and tosha means contentment or acceptance or enjoyment even, but just loving what is right now. How this is important is I have a lot in my mind wrapped up with the environment. So when I was thinking about santosha, these fires came to Spokane. I'm sure you've heard some about them in here. And people are losing their homes and thousands of acres are burned. And for a while we were over 500 in the pollution level. And I can't say for sure whether this is related to climate change or not. I do think it's more likely it is than not. But I get angst. I start to feel anger. There are so many people who are resistant to any idea of change around this, that they cling to the idea that we are not hurting ourselves with our hunger and our appetites. When it comes down to it, people don't want to deal with it, it seems to me, because they want to be trapped in this market where we can just get all sorts of goods and items way beyond what I need. And also, while I preach, I also recognize my own hypocrisy in that I have much more than I need. Much more than I need, and I continue to want. So Santosha began to play a song with me. Just the idea. And it occurred to me that there's more forces of nature that I'm giving credit to. So I can recognize easily the forces of nature out there which are causing our temperatures to go up in all this adverse weather. But I've not been paying attention to our appetites, how even people who believe our behavior is causing this would struggle and will struggle to change behaviors to make it fix, and the amount of healing and work that needs to go into that before we can fully go into the other work. And I feel impatience because I'm like, if we can fix this right away, we can hurry up and get to the important stuff we need. And I recognize that we have other things we need to fix first, and it may take longer and there may be more damage because of that, and that I'm not in charge of that. So it's a very, very hard place for me to be. And of course, there's always the outside possibility that I'm wrong about all this. I sure hope I'm not offending anybody. I think I'm not, but if I am, that even adds more to it. Because Santosha tells me to set goals without being attached to outcomes. The story of the person on the beach, it's a cliche, but it's a beautiful cliche. All these starfish are being brought up on the beach, and if they stay there, they'll dry out and they'll die. So there's this guy, and he throws a starfish out, back into the water. Picks up another one, throws another one out to the water. If you heard this, just enjoy it again. I love the story. A guy sees it and goes, "Stop, stop. It's pointless. You'll never save all of them." And he bends down, and he picks up another starfish, throws it out into the water, and goes, "I saved that one." And in my practice, that's where I want to be. Anything I can do to help change consciousness and help change myself, to, help heal the earth. I mean, it's right now, it's very apparent what our ego is capable of doing, especially our collective ego. It's capable of destroying a planet or making it not very habitable. It's very powerful. And to turn that around, just recognizing that I need to be slow and see that. While I do that, like our addictions and like how the market runs, all the material goods, Santosha tells me my cravings will never be satisfied. So all my addictions, I have a few. Anytime I practice them, I will never be satisfied. So I will always seek more. So with food, I will always seek more if I participate in that addiction. With alcohol, I will always seek more if I participate in that addiction, right? And it's the same with material goods. If I continue to just want the new cell phone, want the new house, want even the electric vehicle. There's some research that shows I'd do more damage getting a new vehicle than just working with the one I have and being responsible with it. But just wanting things. Santosha teaches me that cravings will never be satisfied. And it also tells me to skip trying to find things that'll make me happy and just participate in the behaviors that just produce happiness right away. Meditation, exercise, being in a community, taking care of my emotions. These are the things that produce a lasting state of wellness within me. So I no longer have to say, I'll be happy when the earth is cured. I'll be happy when I weigh 154 pounds. I'll be happy when I win the lottery. No, I'll be just as miserable as I am. I don't want to say now because I'm not miserable, but it won't change a lot. it'll be this immediate bump like, woo, cool, and then it'll just wear off because it's like all things, not permanent. It's not permanent. Just reading about Santosha and thinking about Santosha just brought me into a few quotes from people who are very, very in touch with that part of themselves, or who were, or were not. One of them's John Lennon. He may not have been fully. But I like when he says life is what happens when you're busy making other plans. I've heard other people say life is what happens when you're waiting in line. Waiting in line is a perfect time or a traffic jam for me to breathe in and be aware of the present moment, since I'm suddenly being given the gift of time where I don't have to be active or busy. Lao Tzu said, "Be content with what you have, rejoice in the way things are. When you realize there is nothing lacking, the whole world belongs to you." And again, I'll emphasize, it's good to make goals, but just not be married to the attachments. And right now, everything is as it should be. How this goes with patience, when I am impatient, it's because I want something to be different than what it is. Sometimes that can be good. I might be impatient about an addiction, but a lot of times it's not. It's wanting this moment to be different than what this moment is. And I can spend my whole life waiting for the next moment. I found myself going to concerts that I've spent $600 for, and then found myself during the concert planning stuff for when the concert ends, instead of just being there. It's something I'm just acutely aware of. The meditation is going to be pretty short tonight, if you'd like to get ready. But Santosha, Santosha, if you want to learn more about it. There will be a little bit of chanting in tonight's meditation. Sit or lie down in a comfortable but attentive posture, allowing your back to be straight. And don't be rigid or stiff. Be attentive to what's happening within your own awareness right here and right now, without judgment. Nothing good, nothing bad. As you sit, begin to notice the sensations of breath. Pay attention for a moment to how your abdomen moves on each in-breath and out-breath, the movement of air through your nostrils, the slight movement of your chest and shoulders. The breath is always there as an anchor. Find the spot in your body where the sensation of breathing is most vivid, whether it be your abdomen, your chest, or your shoulders. Or the movement of air through your nostrils. See how fully aware you can be of your whole cycle of breathing, recognizing that each part of the cycle is different from the other part. You will notice your attention shifting away from the breath from time to time. That's perfectly normal. When you notice your mind has wandered, try to meet it with a spirit of friendliness. You don't need to do anything about it. Just invite it to come back. There is nothing to fix. Rather than forcing it, just try to allow yourself to become curious about what it's like to be breathing right now. And you'll find that the attention is naturally drawn back to the physical sensations of breath as it moves through your body. Stay alert, relaxed, and above all, compassionate as you maintain awareness of where the mind goes. Each time you notice the mind has been distracted or wandered, it's an opportunity to invite yourself back to the moment and gently shift your awareness back to your sensation of breath. Let the quality of your attention be light and easy, one of simply observing and noticing. You don't need to control the duration, intensity, pace, or the pause between each breath. Just be patient. Feel free to continue following your breath. I am going to do a chant for a short while. I'm going to chant Om Shanti Om for equanimity and to nurture Santosha. And again, if you just want to breathe, you can, or you can listen and focus on the chant, or you can chant along when you feel comfortable. Om Shanti Om. 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 Shanti Om. Om Shanti Om. As this meditation comes to an end, recognize that you spent this time intentionally aware of your moment-to-moment experience, building the capacity for opening the senses to the vividness, to the change, to the aliveness of the present moment, expanding your skill to be curious about and open to whatever presents itself without judgment. When you're ready, open your eyes and join the group. Okay. Dedication of merit. Refuge does not arise in a particular place, but in the space within the goodness of our hearts. When this space is imbued with wisdom, respect, and love, we call it Sangha. We hope that the pain of addiction, trauma, and feeling apart actually leads us back toward the heart, and that we might understand compassion, wisdom, and change ever more deeply. As we have learned from practice, great pain does not erase goodness, but in fact informs it. May we make the best use of our practice and whatever freedom arises from our efforts here today. May this be a cause and condition for less suffering and more safety in our world. Namaste.